everyone, welcome back to my channel, the perfect place if you are a small business owner, entrepreneur, or a one-person team to learn how to do marketing and graphic design on a budget. And if you don't know what Canva is, it's a very popular platform where beginners who don't know how to do graphic design can make really pretty graphics and posts. Now, we're gonna talk about the #1 mistake that I see on posts that are made from Canva. And if you're already using Canva, I'm so proud of you. You're making the first step to doing graphic design on your own. But there are always ways you can optimize them and make them better. So here we're gonna take a look at a very common mistake that you probably don't notice, but it's actually very important for how your users come across your posts. So these are posts that I found randomly on Instagram with a hashtag made with Canva or hashtag Canva. And let's take a look at the first one. So the first one says, in the case of good books, comma, the point is not to see how many of them you can get through, comma, but rather how many can get through to you, period. Mortimer Adler. Now take a look at this and see what is wrong. Do you see anything a little bit awkward with the way that your eyes read the post? What about how the lines are separated? Now let's take a look at example number 2. This is also made with Canva. So it says, be alone, eat alone, take yourself on dates, sleep, blah, 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 right? So what I'm gonna show you is just very basic, like, tips on how to make your posts more readable so that people don't really have a hard time with reading them and they end up like glossing over it and skipping it. So in this first one, the reason why I would say that I know that this is like a beginner doing graphic design is because first, the quotation mark on the left side is the wrong like direction. So you want to make sure that that is something that you look out for. And then second, it's the way that the lines are broken. So you never want to break the line like right after this comma, right? Because there's a word right here. Instead, you want it to read, in the case of good books, comma, line break. The point is not to see how many and then break it there of them you can get through, comma, and then break it, but rather how many can break through to you. So that's just a tip that you can look out for is how do you want to break up your graphic? And there are some like language-based rules about line breaks, like not breaking the line like after a to, which is called an infinitive for all you grammar nerds. You don't want to break it after like an adjective that describes a noun and the noun ends up on the next line. So something like enjoy a rich, comma, full-bodied wine. Then you line break, that's surprisingly inexpensive. Instead of enjoy a rich, full-bodied line break wine. So that's just like little tips here and there that you can try. So you want to make sure that the last word before a comma should not be where the break is. So for example, like if you want the biggest bang for your line break and then buck and then comma, that's incorrect. You want to change it to if you want the biggest bang for your buck, comma, then line break. Does that make sense? So it's just little things. And then on example number 2, so obviously there's an error with the first quotation mark being there and then a space, right? And then obviously the line breaks are all incorrect. Like the line break should be right here. Like this, the end of the sentence ends up down there. It's very, very hard to read and very hard to scan. And so I'll redo this and show you what it should look like. So you don't always want to just fit the text within the text box. You want to make sure that your text actually makes sense when someone is scanning it. And what I want to show you on the bottom is called widows and orphan text. Now that sounds kind of weird. What I see most common is actually the orphan text. So the orphan text is what's on the bottom where it says yourself is by itself. And that's called an orphan like word or orphan text. It means that you only have one word on a single line. And that's not exactly like great graphic design typography like etiquette, I would say. So let me just redo this and then also remake this and show you what it should look like when it comes to typing it up. So I'm just gonna make a design in Canva really quick. It looks like it was a square graphic. Let me type this up really quickly. Actually, I wonder if this can be Googled. Oh yeah, it can. Okay. So this looks like it was the quote. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna do just a regular text because, you know, we're not doing anything fancy here. I'm just gonna show you how to line break. Okay, and then let's use my favorite font. So this is the problem that I see, is that like people are just dragging it like this. I think that's basically what it looks like, right? Yeah, it's very similar. So this is just all sorts of wrong. So let's try to like make this a little bit better. Be alone, eat alone, take yourself on dates, and you want to break the line there. In the midst of this, you will learn about yourself. So you know, see yourself is down here. So I personally would do that. You will grow, you will figure out what inspires you, you will curate your own dreams. So dreams should technically be on the next line. So let's maybe keep like that. Okay, so, and when you do meet the person who, I don't know, I wouldn't do that. I would keep like that. Your cells dance, you'll be sure of it. Okay, so this seems a little bit awkward, right, still? Maybe because the font, oops, maybe because the fonts are like too big. So, okay, let's try. It seems like this line is the one that's the most difficult. So be alone, eat alone, take yourself on dates. Let's see if I can move this up here. Okay, in the midst of this, you will learn about yourself. You will grow. Okay, so that's a little awkward. You will grow, you'll figure out what inspires you. Your dreams, your own beliefs, your own clarity. When you meet the person who makes your cell dance. Okay, that's not bad. So do you see how it's a little bit more readable? Be alone, eat alone, take yourself on dates, sleep alone, and then end. In the midst of this, you will learn about yourself. You will grow, you will figure out what inspires you. Break, you will curate, and then your own beliefs. Break, your own stunning clarity, and then when you do meet. So I don't like that the is there. Let's see. So, I mean, it's okay for now. It's not always gonna be perfect, so I think I'll just leave it like that for now because the rest of it is pretty readable, and I would say I'm 95% happy with this. And then just slap a photo over here, and then you're good to go. So play around with like the text sizing just to make sure that everything just reads properly. And I would also maybe just like add a couple of breaks, like that's the only break you can really do. I mean, I guess you could do that. Yeah, maybe that would be just more readable. Does that kind of make sense? I hope that it does. You just want to make sure that like you're able to scan it and not like zone out when you're doing it. Okay, so the next one was, in the case of good books, the point is not to see how many of them you can get through, but rather how many can get through to you. Okay, so here they're using, I think, what is play for display. So, and it is bigger because it is a shorter quote. So let's do that. Okay, so let's see if that's kind of the same. I think the font's a little bit bigger. Something like that, right? Something similar. Okay, so again, like you resize it to the purple parts, right? Which shows you your margins. So again, in the case of good books, break. The point is not to see how many of them you can get through, break, but rather how many can get through to you. Now that's a lot easier to read. Just make sure that like the word that follows a comma is not the end of a line. I think that's the biggest mistake. And then also like the orphan text. So you don't want like one line of just one word. So I hope that's helpful. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you didn't find it helpful, comment below and tell me what exactly you would have liked to see, or maybe some more tips that you would like to hear. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.